I have had a lot of confessions, but this one were really amazing. The confessions were about money. The Gen Zs were asked, say that one time you used your money emotionally, then regretted later. And without wasting time, let's get into it. So, Kalechi said, I bought an expensive phone because I wanted to look like I had my life together. 2 months later, I was borrowing money to survive. That phone taught me that looking rich and actually having money are two completely different things. Guys, we have been saying this all the time. You don't have to spend your money to look rich. But actual riches, or rather the actual, how do we call it? Give me that name that we say. Okay, like the actual richness is that which no one sees. The savings, the money in your bank account, the shares you have, the money in your MMF, your emergency fund. That is true riches. Unlike you buying things just to appear rich. Let us hear another person. So we have Favor said, I spent almost all my savings on a laptop because I convinced myself it would help me start a business. I barely used it for the business. Now every time I see it, I remember how impulsive I was. So guys, there was an episode we did, and I told you that this is how you deal, this is how you do to avoid impulse buying. What did we say? I know you have forgotten, but let me remind you what we said. We said that take a pause and wait for 1 or 2 days. Think about what you want to buy. If after the 2 days you still want that thing, go ahead and purchase it now. But don't buy it using the emotions that are telling you buy it, buy it, buy it. Take a pause, and after 2 3 days, if you still need that thing, after you have convinced yourself, now you can buy it to avoid finding yourself in a situation like Favor. Now, let us hear another one. Zainab said, I bought furnitures for an apartment. I was convinced I would stay in for years. 6 months later, I had to move. Transporting everything cost me even more. I should have waited before spending that much. Guys, we have been talking about this each and every day. Before making that huge purchase, before spending that much money, always pause and ask yourself, am I actually doing this because I want it? Or am I doing it because my emotions are telling me to do it? So she used almost all her money transporting to the other place because her emotions were telling her that she would stay in that place for years. But the logic was that after 6 months, she had to move out. Guys, we are still learning. Let us hear another one. So, this one is, Toby said, I paid for a course that was supposed to teach me how to make money online. It was expensive and promised so much, but I barely learned anything useful. I still change. I still change whenever I remember how easily I fell for it. That is another emotional spending, because he spent that money because he thought he was going to be rich by buying the course. But the reality was, or even the reality is, you cannot be rich because of buying a course. Because Why do you buy a course that you can find it for free in YouTube? Why do you pay for a course that you can research it yourself and get everything using ChatGPT, using DeepSeek? There are a lot of AI, so you can get all the information free of charge. But because, okay, that one we should not call it emotion, but laziness. That was laziness. You want to buy already printed things. The person who is selling you the course, he spent his time, he spent his energy diving into all AIs and coming up with that course. And you think just by reading that course or going through that course that you will be rich. That one will never happen. So guys, don't be lazy. Even being lazy, we have seen it will also cost you money. Let us hear another one from Reed Van. Okay. A designer outfit I spent was more than I should have because I had an event coming up. I wore it once, posted pictures, and it has been sitting in my wardrobe ever since. Easily one of my worst financial decisions. That is actually one of the worst financial decisions. Everybody has done this financial mistake. You have bought something that you used it only one time and you have never used it any other time. And maybe it was the most expensive thing that you have. But you just bought it because you thought, because of something that was going to happen only once. You buy expensive clothes, expensive things because of a graduation that will last only one day. And after that day, you'll never wear that shoe again. You'll never wear those clothes again. You buy nice outfit because you're invited for a ratio that will last only for a day. And after that day, you'll never wear the clothes again. So you always stay there wondering why you spent the money, but you already spent the money. So guys, let us hear another one. Who do we have here? Okay, we have, who is this? Charles. I bought a phone for someone I was dating. Because I wanted to prove how much I love them. We broke up a few months later. The phone was still with them, but the regret was with me. Hey, that one was worth it, by the way, because you bought it because you were a fool. Okay, I bought a phone for someone because I was in love with them. A few months later, we broke up. The phone remained with them, but the regret remained with me. Nonsense. Why would you do that? Why would you buy a phone for someone just because you are dating them? But actually, that is the worst financial mistake you can make as a man. And you will always regret about that. No matter how many or how worth you had. Okay, so you just decide to use your money, the money you would have, maybe bought some shares, maybe keep it aside as emergency fund. Okay, you just buy someone a phone. Okay, and I'm trying to imagine what kind of a phone you'll buy to impress someone. It must be expensive. Then you broke up with her. That was bad, but actually, at first you thought, you had all your mind, you had eaten, let's say you are not hungry, you are hydrated, and you had your eyes, ears, nose on. Who are we to care about it? It is a financial mistake that you will make, and you will carry with it. You will carry the regret everywhere you go. Anytime you try doing something new, you still regret because you are a fool. Okay, anyway, guys, those were some of the confession that they made, how they spent money unwisely. Okay, let me know, how did you spend money unwisely and then regretted about it later? And what did you learn from the financial mistake that you did? Anyway, guys, stay tuned for the next episode.